Okay, now we are going to try to identify your core values. And what you want to do is scan the words on this sheet. There are 4 long lists of values, and there are many more in the world than are listed on this page, but I chose the ones that I think are most helpful to you for this exercise. And so what you want to do is ask yourself these 7 questions by looking through these words and marking off the words that answer these questions. Okay, so the first question is, which values do you respect most? So go through these lists, they're in alphabetical order, and ask yourself, which ones do I respect? And just quickly underline them or circle them or check them off. Okay, so do that now. You can pause the video and do that now. After that, you want to ask the second question, which values fill you with life? What do I mean by that? Which words fill you with positive energy, hope, and fulfillment? Words carry energy. Words make you feel a certain way. So right now you want to go through those lists again, and this time mark the ones that fill you with a positive energy. So you can circle the same words that you circled for question number 1, okay? And where we're going with this is you're trying to identify the words that you circled over and over and over and over again. Because if you circled that same word, that same value multiple times, chances are that is one of your core values, okay? So take a moment and answer question number 2. When you're done with question number 2, move on to question number 3. Which values describe you at your best? Okay, which values describe you when you are firing on all cylinders, when it's a great day, when you are in your zone, when you are doing what makes you happy, what fulfills you, what satisfies you? Which of these words describes you at your best? Okay, so again, go through 4 lists and circle the same word if it applies to this question. You're looking for the words that you're circling multiple times. All right, so answer question number 3 and then come back. Now you can move on to question number 4. Which values do you aspire to possess? Okay, so this question is not asking you to describe who you already are, the values you already possess. This question is inviting you to ask yourself, which values do I want to possess in the future, right? In the near future. Which ones do I want to grow into? Which values do I want to describe the best me, the ideal me? I hope that makes sense, but go through each list again, asking yourself, which values do I not yet quite possess, or maybe possess, barely, but I want to. I want this word, this value to describe me and who I am and what I care about and what matters to me. All right, so go through the list and ask yourself, which values do I aspire to possess? And then come back and we'll jump into number 5. Okay, number 5 says, which values are you willing to work for and make sacrifices for? All right, this one's a little more challenging because now we're attaching a cost to these values. Some of the values on this list are more demanding than others, right? Such as mercy. Mercy is another word for compassion, but I think of mercy ministries, right? Like where you're working with the less fortunate. You're working with people who have real, even physical, basic needs. And that value may require you to go out of your way and feed a person, find employment for a person, find housing for somebody. If you value mercy, you're like the Good Samaritan who will actually stop and drop everything to help a person in need in however way you can help. All right, so there's a cost to some of these values. Not everybody values mercy, and that's okay. But God has gifted some of you with that heart of mercy, that Good Samaritan's heart. And that's something you're willing to make sacrifices for, okay? Now, some of you might value, in all honesty, popularity, right? And if that is your value, that is something that you're going to work for. You're going to have to do some amazing and awesome things or, be an amazing person to gain the popularity that you crave. Now, that brings me to a very important question. Are all of these values equal? Are some of them better than others? At this point, I just want us to get to an honest answer. What's important for you right now is to see who you are at this moment, the person you are today. And the more honest you are with this exercise, the more progress you're going to make with discovering your mission, your purpose, your plan, your unique contribution to the world, okay? And so this exercise is asking you to envision both who you want to be, but also who you are today. And so if, let's say, you value popularity, if you value power, if you value happiness, right? You might look at all those top values, those core values, and ask yourself, is that person, or is the person that I am right now the person I want to be? Is that the person I respect? Is that the person that I am happy to continue being in my life? Because if not, if the answer is no, then this is the perfect time to make the changes and to go back to number 4, which is, what values do I want to possess? If I don't want to value popularity, if I don't want to value power, well, what do I want to value? Okay, so this can be a very deep and self-revelatory exercise if you are honest and allow it to serve you this way. Okay, so answer number 5, which values are you willing to work for and make sacrifices for? To give you an example, one of my values is honesty. Actually, my top values are honesty, creativity, freedom, truth, and compassion. As of the time of this recording, those are my top 5 core values, and they have been for the last few years. Now, of those 5, the value that has required the most sacrifice is honesty. Because in order to be honest and to be an honest person, I've had to do some scary things. I've had to admit some sins in public. I've had to be vulnerable. I've had to show weakness. And, when you're a leadership mentor, that's a very scary thing, right? To show the people that I'm trying to serve that even I, as a leader who's teaching leadership, mentoring teens who want to be stronger self-leaders and godly influencers on others, even I fail at it. I don't always lead myself well. I have sinned in humiliating ways. And yet, because I value honesty and I respect honesty and I respect other people who are honest, who have a high sense of integrity, that means that I have to work for that honesty and make sacrifices for it by admitting my weaknesses and sins to you and to the public. I mean, I've published things like on my blog, and I've admitted to, cheating, stealing, humiliating things. And yet my security and safety of my identity in Christ is the one thing that allows me to be vulnerable, to be completely honest and open and unafraid of judgment. No, actually, I still am afraid of judgment. I am afraid of rejection, but it doesn't stop me from being honest, from acting on that value. Okay, I hope that helps. Come back and we'll do question number 6.